you're out in New York recently. You're out in Brooklyn at a Converse show, and you made some comments about New York rappers, and New York radio. You know, where did that really come from? Was it a frustration, you know, with New York as a whole, with what's going on with your project? What really triggered that?
I mean, in general, I'm a passionate person about the truth, and sometimes being passionate about what you say is cool, but how you say it can sometimes throw off the message, and that's exactly what happened. Whatever, I'm gonna always say the truth. I don't hold the truth to hold my tongue for no man, no city, but in general, you gotta. It's not what you say; it's how you say it.
Okay. Now we talked to Fly when I was in L.A. and it just happened, so I kind of got sort of his initial reaction. I actually played him the video of you performing the song for the first time, and his take was that that you feel that people are attack you a lot more so than other rappers, and there's a certain level of frustration that goes along with that. Well, what's your take on that?
Just in general, what happens in life, when what you realize when you get into the music industry, that is different labels and titles that people throw you in, no matter if you want to or not. So in general, right now, I'm the poster child for the dude with one hit, and we want to see what he's going to do, because all we know and all we want to know is that he has one hit. Because I don't be in the radio and I don't be in people clubs like that pushing out music. I only push out projects of music, like my 10-piece Smile mixtape that I put out there, and people heard it and people enjoyed it, but the world didn't hear it like how everybody heard All Go Everything. So right now, when you have a song your first time out the gate, it goes number one and you got like almost a platinum plaque for it, that's what people know you for. You got some artists that has hundreds and hundreds of songs, but people only know them for what comes on the radio. And that's where I'm at right now. And I just wanted to make sure before my album came out that people knew what type of artist that you were buying into if you decided to buy my album. Because I didn't want you to buy into a facade or buy into what you think might be a gimmick. Because I'm a real nigga every day. It ain't never gonna change. I was just letting people know what the real is. The media always takes what an artist says and puts the negative, the worst part out, and then swindles it. But I had been talking the whole show from the time I walked out to the ending of my show. They picked that part and used that part against me in a negative light, when if there was anything really negative about what I was saying, the dudes in the show from Brooklyn would have did something about it. But people knew that I was just telling the truth or whatever, and I was just passionate and I had my way of saying it. Don't get me wrong, as an artist and as a human, we all have our ups and downs. And so me coming out there on the stage, I wasn't in the most positive of mindsets, but at the end of the day, I wasn't trying to disrespect anybody's city. I picked the wrong place to have a barbershop conversation. Because if I was wrong, like if I was just 100% wrong, it wouldn't be people in New York City that totally agree with me.
What do you mean when you said, when you went out to perform, you weren't really in the most positive mind state?
I mean, just in general, life is not no candy or picking money from trees. At the end of the day, the music industry is not just the easiest thing to be in. You know that just as well as I do. So sometimes you have your ups, sometimes you have your downs. That night, I could have said that I was on like a up-down type of situation. Like I was cool, but at the same time, I was just like, man, there's a lot going on right now. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Now, I mean, when you said it on stage, we only saw that one clip. But what was the energy in the room from all the people who live in New York and live in Brooklyn, who are watching the show? What was the crowd's sort of energy?
You talking about when I said that particular part or the entire show?
That particular part.
That particular part. By the time I said that, it was more like, dude, the person that I am is that when I'm being passionate about the truth, or when I'm saying the truth, or when I believe that something is the truth, then I'm going to say what I got to say, or whatever. I actually like New York sounding music, or whatever. I respect French and Rocky and the whole ASAP mob for them changing up the New York sound and going with the Southern sound. or whatever. I respect that too because at the end of the day, I want everybody to make their money. But me personally, I like the New York sound. So with that being said, when I come to New York and I turn on the radio, if it's not the satellite radio, I'm not hearing a New York sound. And that's all I was. That's the only point I was trying to get across. Like this at that point in time because it was back. The whole show was based off of me just letting people know what's really going on here and what's really going on out here in the industry. What's really going on here out in life. So when you say something, being a real nigga, the same conversation you would have with these same people in their house, and they'll get it. When you say it in front of a group of people, and then when the media taps their hand into it, they turn it to pure evil.
When you talk about the prominent New York rappers right now, which is French Montana and ASAP Rocky. Now you said that you feel their sound sounds Southern. Is that correct?
The sound that we put out there mainstream wise, like I'm not saying that. Another thing of this is, first of all, there's no diss. I want to make sure that I say this because if I don't say this, I already know that you guys will take it and say I'm trying to diss French Montana and ASAP Rocky. I'm saying that their music that people put out there mainstream from them has a Southern sound. Not to say that French or Rocky or Nasty or 12 or Ferg don't have sounds that have New York sound in it. They do. I bought their albums. They do. They haven't forgot about New York City. I'm just saying that what New York radio, the mainstream radio puts out there, only sounds Southern. If it wasn't for me actually having to look for myself, I would have never knew who Troy Avenue was. Troy Avenue, the truth to me, in my personal opinion, but I've never heard him on the radio, Hot 97 or 105. I've never heard him. They said they brought him up to the Breakfast Club a couple times. That's tight. That's cool. But I don't hear him on the radio. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, when I interviewed Joel Santana and we were talking about ASAP Rocky and the Harlem sound, Joel said that to him ASAP sounds the ASAP sounds more Houston to him. You know what I mean? And I'm like, when I thought about it, I said, yeah, okay, that kind of makes sense.
It does. It does. I mean, but that's the South, though. I said ATL on stage, but I should have said the South. I should have said the South, but that's in the past. I can't take it back. But I should have said the South because they do have records that sound like the South. I mean, but everybody's had their Southern influence or whatever. It didn't just start, honestly, with French and Rocky. Or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I remember when, to me, I've heard 50 have A-Town bounce from time to time. You know what I'm saying? Lloyd Banks got a line said that bitch can give a Banks head and bounce. She from Bankhead and give a bitch give Banks head and bounce. Like people know about Atlanta. Like Atlanta sound is wonderful. Atlanta musically is the truth. We've been the truth. We always gonna be the truth. That ain't never gonna change. I stand behind my city just like everybody else in New York stand behind their city. What I was saying to you is, does New York really stand behind their artists the way they should? Because in Atlanta, we stand behind ours. That was the real argument for discussion. Does New York stand behind their New York artists the way they should? A lot of people can say yes. A lot of people can say no. At the end of the day, that's the question that really should have been thrown out there in the air. That's the only thing that matters. I'm just saying.
I mean, when I go down to Atlanta, and I've been going down more often recently, and I turn on the radio, I'm hearing a whole bunch of local Atlanta dudes that I've never heard outside of Atlanta on the radio, like the Migos, before the Versace remix, and Q, and like
you can name forever, bro, because we support our own kind, bro. We support our own kind. Simple as that. That's all I'm talking about. We support our own kind. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. However anybody else takes this interview, all right. But that's all I'm saying. We support our own kind. Does New York City Does New Yorkers do that for their own kind, their own artists that have a New York sound? That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking.
It's a lot of fans. The guy sold what? About damn near 800,000 the first week. So it's a lot of fans that like Drake singing. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's all he gives a damn about.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, he's not signed to good music.
Yeah, man. I mean, I look at 2 Chainz as my good music brother. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the paperwork scenario of it, but I mean, we're all seasoned artists, man.